So this video is intended to entertain and educate about the significance of the hotel and about the entire corridor of the North Fork of the South Platte River. In 1878, the Denver, South Park, and Pacific Railroad made its way up the Platte River and came to the confluence of the North Fork of the South Platte. From there, it went up the North Fork of the South Platte, which is where our story begins. But the railroad actually went all the way through Buffalo Creek and Bailey and up and over Kenosha Pass to Como and Breckenridge and Leadville eventually. The South Platte Hotel was originally constructed in 1887. Some stories say that it was built by Charles and Maida Walbrecht, and others say that the Zhang brewing family built it and put the Walbrechts in charge. But regardless, the Walbrechts later became owners of the hotel. Now, as I mentioned, the hotel was built here at the junction of the South Platte River and the North Fork of the South Platte. And eventually it would have a post office, general store, a saloon, and of course a train station with a telegraph. Now everything was going fine until August 1912 when George Ballou, a stagecoach driver, became drunk and belligerent, and he shot at several guests and the Walbrechts. He burned the place down and eventually was tracked to La Junta, where he killed himself. The hotel was rebuilt and eventually was shut down in the 1940s. And later, it was sold to the Denver Water Board. Now, moving upstream, we come to Dome Rock. Dome Rock is significant for a couple different things. It used to be a stop along the railway for people and tourists to come up and picnic. And they would be dropped off on the rails, and then they would wait for the train to come back down and take them down into Denver. The other thing it's significant for is that one of the engineers of that railroad was a guy named Billy Westall, and he was bringing several train cars of tourists down, and he saw in front of him that part of the rail line had been covered over by a mudslide. He tried to break the train, and eventually the train did crash, and he was the only one who perished. And he is credited with saving the lives of all the people aboard that train. Now, when he died, he was taken first to Buffalo Creek, but he told one of his friends on the train to please tell my wife I died thinking of her. And this monument was put up just outside of Dome Rock as a commemoration for him. Now, next we have the town of Foxton, where a post office used to be, and that building is still there, and it's considered to be on the endangered list. Now, this spot is called Ferndale, and several well-known people had cabins along here, including the daughter of William Newton Byers, who was the founder of the Rocky Mountain News. And here is a stretch of the railway, well known for its beauty and the rocks there. And so people would come up the railway and they would stop in places like this to just get into nature and observe the beauty around. Now, the next spot we're going to go to is a place called Rolling Rock Curve, and that's here. And the reason is because up on the right-hand side of this picture is a huge boulder, and it looks like it's about ready to roll down. Now, this is significant because several photographers would stop here and take lots of pictures of this area as a way to sell the railroad. And as you can see, outside of the fact that the rails are gone, not really much has changed in this corridor. And again, it's just such a history to it that we've got to save the South Platte Hotel as part of this history. Because if that goes, there's really not much except photographs to tell the story of this corridor. Now, here is what they call the cathedral spires, and this is one shot of it, and it's in the background there. And now we have coming up is the junction at Buffalo Creek, and this is a place where eventually a store was built, and that store is still there. Now, the next shot here is from a school right by Buffalo Creek, looking down across the valley of the North Fork of South Platte River. And then we have a shot of Buffalo Creek itself, and there's a hotel there on the right hand side that is still there today. There have been efforts to um, reclaim it and renovate it, but I don't know where that stands today. And this is Pine Grove, which is one part of the town that supported the railway. So, as you can see, this corridor between the confluence of the South Platte and the North Fork of the South Platte, and all the way up to Pine Grove and beyond, is a very significant part of Colorado's history. And again, the South Platte Hotel is the only remaining physical vestige of this history, and it has to be saved. So, two things you can do: contact the Denver board and let them know how you feel about this, because we need public support to prove to them that it's worth saving. And also, contact Colorado Preservation Inc. They are an organization that is spearheading the effort to save the hotel, and ask them what you can do to help. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and feel free to make comments and look for my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.